Start by telling us about your District 30A and what issues are important to your constituents.
Yeah, so I represent House District 30A, which is Big Lake Township, Elk River, and a little bit of the far east end of Otsego. So I have Sherburne County and Wright County in my district. And I think my district is similar to a lot of districts. We want to make sure we have good schools, we want to make sure we have jobs for our residents, and then we want to make sure that we're addressing the transportation needs in our community.
And you sponsored 66 bills in 2017, the most of any House member. Is that a big challenge to sponsor that many?
So I get a gentle ribbing about the number of bills that I author, and some of them are pieces of legislation that I've worked on in years past that I'm carrying forward, and others are new issues or issues brought to me by constituents. And my philosophy is I'm here to work. And so I work on what I think I can accomplish and what I think I can get done. And one of the things I'm proud of is, even though I tend to author a lot of bills, I have a pretty good track record of getting a lot of bills over the finish line and getting those bills passed into law. And so I really enjoy it. I like to be busy and I like working hard.
And those bills, like you say, they covered a lot of different issues. But are there any issues that are particularly important to you that you'd like to see addressed this session?
Yeah, so I work very closely within Health and Human Services, continuing to work on how the opioid crisis impacts Sherburne County and Wright County specifically, but the state of Minnesota as a whole. And so we'll be working on those issues moving forward. And then I try to spend, with my background in law enforcement in the forensic science lab, I try to spend a lot of time working on criminal justice issues and criminal justice reform issues, making sure that we're getting a good return on our investment in criminal justice and making sure that the outcomes that we're getting are meeting our goals.
And I was going to ask you about that next. So you're the son of a former Elk River police chief, correct?
Yep, my dad was the police chief in Elk River from 1980 to 2003, so the whole time I was growing up.
Yeah, and you mentioned too, forensic scientist for Anoka County. I mean, so what kind of perspective does that give you as a member of the House Public Safety and Security Policy?
Yeah, coming from a background of forensic science and working in crime labs, I think it gives you a perspective, kind of a law enforcement perspective, but I think just broader, having a science background. A lot of the bills that I bring forward are generally data driven, and I try to really study the data and the numbers and try to follow things through to their logical conclusion. And I think that helps me as I try to represent my constituents.
Your bill, House File 390, that would increase the penalties for protesters that block freeways and access to airports, a lot of publicity in 2017. Do you expect that bill will get a vote this session?
I'm hopeful. At the end of session, when it was pulled out in the conference committee as a part of negotiations with the governor, at that point, the Speaker of the House gave me his word that House File 390 would be brought forward for a vote in front of the full House of Representatives, and I'm hopeful we can do that. We need to make sure that our highways, that our freeways, and that our airports and that our light rail transportation systems are kept free and operational. And as we've seen with past protests, like the ones in St. Paul that injured 20 police officers, we need to make sure that we take public safety first and paramount, and we need to protect the general motoring public and our police officers and state troopers.
According to your website, you were born with a congenital heart defect, correct?
Yeah.
You were told that you weren't even going to live past 7, and you've had open heart surgeries. And how do you feel now, and does that play any kind of role in how you approach certain issues at the Capitol?
Yeah, so I was diagnosed with a congenital heart defect at 3 days old. My parents were told, your son might live to be maybe 7 years old. I've had 10 open heart surgeries total. During that time, I've been told, and my parents have been told, that we've had less than 6 months left to live 6 different times. And so it has an effect. It definitely has an effect. Some of the bills that I've worked on in the past the right to try bill to allow individuals with terminal diagnoses to try treatments or medications that aren't yet fully FDA approved. I think that comes inspired out of my personal experience. And I think just the idea that we need to make sure, especially on the Health and Human Service Committee, we need to make sure that we have members on the committee that are focused on the impact to the patient. We have a lot of lobbyists and advocates here for health systems, for insurance companies, for doctors. I want to make sure that patients play a center role in how health policy is being shaped, and that's one of my goals as I start out each session.
And the last thing I have to ask is no secret here at the legislature, you're a candy aficionado. If you only get 3 kind of candies the rest of your life, or three different kind, what would you choose?
Oh boy, well, I think you definitely have to have Kit Kat. You have to have a licorice, so maybe a pull and peel is a good licorice, and then probably Reese's peanut butter cups.
That's a good choice.
So I think those are my top 3, yeah.